On this week's episode of February has been the longest month of my entire life. We are going to be talking about March's TBR. So what I did for February was exclusively read from my Kindle. It was kind of a little competition with myself to see if I could read Kindle books faster or physical books faster. My February what I read video will be up next week. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be so fun to go through. But for now, I just want to preface a little spoiler-ish thing. One of the books that I talked about in February TBR, in the ones that I exclusively picked out to read in February, I did not end up getting to, and I will explain it more in that video next week. But that book is going to be in this video because I definitely do want to read it, and I feel bad that I didn't get to it in February. The good thing about the books that I actually own is that all of them I want to read. I try to only buy books that when I look at it I get excited and I want to read it right then, rather than buying books because I like the cover or I like the author, this and that. I buy solely on the plot or what I think the book is about because I don't like to read so much about it in case it's like spoilers or things. So picking March's TBR from physical books that I own was so hard. The book that I didn't read in February is on it, of course, and then one of the other books that I always talk about is on it. I have to read it. I can put it behind me and y'all will never have to hear about it again. And then the other ones are just kind of random ones that I picked that caught my attention more so than the other ones that I own. But I'm just going to get into it now. So the book that I did not end up reading for February is Split Tooth for Tanya? Nope. Split Tooth by Tanya Tegek. I did not end up reading this and I will get into it in next week's video. But again, still very interested in reading this and checking out her other things if I do end up enjoying this. And I just like the cover. Like, it's very, very simple, but the way that it looks is so aesthetically pleasing that when I saw it on one of my, I think I got this one from, oh my gosh, it wasn't Thrift Books, Better World Books. Oh my god, please tell me that's it. When I saw this on Better World Books, I was like, yes ma'am. So I did buy this, did not end up reading it on the Kindle. There, can you face it like that? Yes, we'll do it. And then the second book that I am always talking about is Little Women. Here we go. Bullet points. The movie is out. I want to see the movie so bad, but I want to read the book first, and I'm obsessed with this cover, and that's it. That is all I'm going to say about it. We are moving on. I'm not going to let you sit through another rambling of me talking about this book and how much I want to read it. I'm just going to do it, okay? So this book will be completed. It's actually going to be the first book that I start in March. So thank God, we'll get that out of the way. We'll mention it in my March wrap-up video, and that'll be it. And then you'll probably see and hear me crying about the movie on my Instagram, linked below. Please follow me. I love to have friends. And that's it. The two books I'm going to talk about now are small enough and kind of weird to where I think it's going to propel me into reading so much more this month. So the first one, which I have talked about, is Summertime in Murder Town by David Gunn. I'm actually wearing his band's shirt. They're called King 810. They're like a hardcore band. I don't know. He was born and raised in Flint, Michigan, and this is his story about living there, growing up there, the stabbings, the shootings, killings, all the crime and everything. I think it's really important to broaden your horizons in real world issues. And it's one thing to just see it on the news. You know what I mean? I feel like for me, if I read something, it sticks with me more than just hearing about it or seeing it. So I am excited in the way that I know my eyes are gonna be opened. But I'm not excited to read about death and violence, if that makes sense. But I think this book is very important to kind of show you what life is like in Flint, Michigan, and still to this day. He talks a lot about the awareness of living in a place like that. And, just read it. I'm sure I'm gonna talk a lot about it in the, oh, there's stuff on it. Talk a lot about it in the next video because it's probably gonna hurt me a lot, but there's that. And then the second kind of out there book that you might not have heard of is Last Supper's famous final meals from death row. Now, I'm not going to get into my thoughts on the death penalty. That's not what I'm talking about this book for. I just find it fascinating, the concept of a last meal. And this also is done in a way where it throws in like random facts. What does it say? Where was it? Like weird execution facts and things like that. And it tells you the name, when they were executed, what their crime was, and like a little bit of a story. Like here's just, this one page is all about one person. So this is going to be a very quick read, but it's also something I'm interested in because I am a forensic psychologist and I know those burped. I know some of those, oh my God. Can I honestly just speak today? Please, just let me speak once, ever. Some of you guys aren't necessarily in school or in jobs related to like crime or forensics or whatever psychology, but are still obviously interested in true crime, which is great because it's so fascinating. So anything related to that, I'm going to pick up, I'm going to want to read. So that's why this is in here. And I feel like these two books are so small and so just fascinating to me, and something that I'm actively looking for in books or in knowledge, that I'm going to get through them really fast and I'm going to want to read other things. You know, when you get into that reading rhythm and you're just like book after book after book. So hopefully those are going to do that for me. So the next book I have, interesting. So I have this Jurassic Park book. It also came with Congo, which I honestly have never heard of. It says for Congo that 3 intrepid adventurers plunge into the heart of Africa in a desperate bid for the fabulous diamonds. That's fine. When I bought this book, I also got Jurassic Park and I got The Lost World. So I thought that this was just going to be Jurassic Park. I didn't know that it was coming with this, which is fine by me. Like, that's great. But it does mean that it is quite thick. I'm not saying I'm going to read Congo. It depends on... Oh, I literally just flipped right to Congo. So reading Jurassic Park is a little bit more than halfway. And that's going to be 374 pages. Dang, bro. That's crazy. So I might end up reading Congo. I might not. I could save it for another time. But just the whole concept of Jurassic Park, if you don't know, if you've never seen the movies, it's about scientists bringing back dinosaurs essentially in like this amusement park / zoo area thing. And it's about the dinosaurs getting out and killing them. So that's fun. I love the Jurassic Park movies. I think the second movie, Lost World, right? That's my favorite one. I just love the concept of a real world with, I don't know, like just something bad happening, like dinosaurs, or what else, like an apocalypse, like things like that, things that happen in the real world or could potentially happen. It just freaks me out. Did y'all hear that? This might have been years ago, that they are like, have the technology or are trying to bring back woolly mammoths or like, and dinosaurs and things like that. They're trying to figure out. And I'm just like, why? We do not need it, because I feel like as soon as scientists are able to bring back one sort of animal from prehistoric times or just like way, way, way back, they're going to try to bring back more and more and more. And then what? And then what? Just, we've made so many animals extinct as human beings ourselves. What makes you think that we need more trophies? You know what I mean? So that's just terrifying to think about. So I'm gonna read Jurassic Park. Super excited. So I actually only have one more book because there's 2 huge ones here. Don't want to get too ahead of myself. But this book is Black Girl Unlimited by Echo Brown, which is like the coolest name of all time. This is essentially about a black girl who is a wizard. And I think that's really important because there's not a lot of magical books or books that aren't contemporary that feature people of color. So like we need that. We need more representation in like supernatural books or fantasy books, things like that. So this is about a black girl who is a wizard, and it talks about it has like real world issues in it, like poverty, sexual violence, depression, racism, and sexism. But it also has that magical element. It's gonna be a lot, but I think it's gonna be very important and very necessary to read. And because of the magical element, it might not feel so severe and like in your face, which other books are specifically for, like contemporary books talking about like sexism, racism, things like that are geared towards. And I feel like the magic just softens it a little bit, and I'm going to be very grateful for that because sometimes it's just too much, you know? So those are the books that when I saw them on my shelf, I was like, yes, I have to read it. This is not to say that this is going to be the end product, because this is not that many books, in my opinion. Since like January, I read like 16. Who was she? I don't know. But this is a huge book here. And this, if I end up reading Congo, that's another huge book. So when I see you at the end of March, hopefully I can confirm that all of these have been read. And I have also read more books, because that is my goal. My goal is to get through the books that I own, and then buy more, because that's the American dream. Buy used books, build your own bookshelf, and just quit your job, stop paying bills, build a cottage in the woods, and live there with your books. And that's it. That's all you need. No food, no running water, just your books. And I stand by that. That is it. This is a short video. I wish I could confidently give you more books that I'm going to read, but I think February was testament enough to not getting ahead of myself, which that video will be out next week, Friday at 3 p.m. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!